Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander. And today we have another episode in our Spoiler Spotlight series in which I talk about, well, spoilers and tell you what my thoughts are on them. But before that, just a quick reminder to click subscribe if you enjoy my videos. We're well on our way to 1 million subscribers and your support means everything to me. And today we're going to be talking about Vernal Sovereign. For 4 colorless, 1 green and 1 white, it's a creature elemental elk 4/4 with whenever Vernal Sovereign enters the battlefield or attacks, create a green and white elemental creature token with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control. So this is another really interesting card from Ravnica Clue Edition, and the reason I wanted to highlight this one is because I find it very similar to Sludge Titan, honestly. It's very much a Titan-like effect, although not quite as pushed as the other card, I would say. It still does provide a lot of stats if you get to attack with it, and it does give you another body immediately on ETB. So this is a callback to the classic card Voice of Resurgence, which was basically the only good card in Dragon's Maze when the set first released. That was the only card that was really worth anything. It was a big flop of a set, even though some of the cards from it have gathered some value throughout the years since. So that card made tokens that had power and toughness equal to the number of creatures you control, and Vernal Sovereign does the same. At its very worst, it's a 4/4 that comes in and makes a 2/2 before eating a removal spell, so it's a clean 2 for 1 that's giving you 6 power stats initially, although of course if this gets killed and you have no other creatures on board, you're just left with a 1/1 in play, which isn't super impressive. However, there's a ton of situations where this can be so much better. If you have a decent board, this comes down and makes something like a 5/5, and then if it gets to attack, you're getting a 6/6, and at that point you've got 15 power out of your 6-drop, which isn't bad at all, and it's not even that unlikely because who's gonna really want to kill this in most games of Commander? You're probably gonna have a lot more menacing targets, so this can kind of just sit there and eventually accrue advantage as long as you have a decent attack and pump out tokens that are going to get better and better as your board gets bigger and bigger. There is one thing that I'd like to mention, and that is that this is fairly bad against damage-based board wipes, but since the most common one of those is Blasphemous Act, it's not really going to make that much difference either way. The reason this is quite bad against damage-based board wipe is because once some of your other creatures have died, the tokens that this make are going to have their power and toughness reduced, and then they're still going to have the damage marked on them, which means they're probably going to end up dying as well. But that being said, I think this is an excellent card for Selesnya, which is going to fit in most of their decks, since Selesnya is absolutely all about making tokens and not much else, which is something that I do have a bit of a gripe with, but that's the story for another time. Anyway, since that is the case, this just fits in most Selesnya decks very nicely. They're going to go wide, this is going to make pretty big creatures, and you're going to get repeatable value off of it if you get to keep attacking with it. It is interesting to me that despite being in the colors of creatures, this has much worse stats than the other Titans, although I suppose it's not actually officially a Titan in the cycle, seeing as it doesn't have Titan in the name and also doesn't come with a keyword like all the other Titans. So I'm not much of a Selesnya player myself, but it does look very good to me, but I'd definitely like to hear what you think. So if you're a Selesnya player, tell me, are you excited about this card? So there you have it. Those have been my thoughts on this new spoiler. What do you think about this card? Please let me know in the comment section below. I read all comments and respond to all of them too. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, take care.